All right, guys, hopefully that doesn't happen when you turn on your phase converter. But if you've came to this video, then you're interested in phase converters and what they can do for you. So stay tuned and I'm going to tell you how I run my shop. All right, I want to start this video by first saying that I am not an electrician. So anything you see in this video may or may not be the right way to do things, or it may not be to code, and you know, everybody's area is going to be different. You know, I live in a very rural part of Missouri and the codes out here are really lax, so I just kind of do things the way I want to do them, and you know, as long as it's safe and it works for me, then it works. So once again, I'm not an electrician. You know, I know the comments are probably going to go crazy, you know, telling me that I did this wrong or that wrong, but you know, I've been doing business since 2018 and everything's been working pretty good. So I must be doing something okay. But that all being said, I wanted to talk about what I'm doing in my shop. I needed a phase converter. You know, a lot of you are going to need one if you're going to start a shop, or you know, try to do something in your garage or whatever. You can't get utility three-phase like me. So I went to American Rotary, you know, and the only reason I went to them is because they were it appeared to be the biggest company, and you know, it seemed like they had the most customers and everything. So I picked them. I called them and told them what I was getting. You know, I started out with the one machine, the Herco 4020 over there. Started out with that, and they recommended that I get the AD60, so I did. And they also recommended that I had a 400 amp service coming into my shop, so I did that as well. And I have been running on that thing since day one, and I've since added, you know, 2 other machines. So I've got this Haas VF3 SSYT that runs flawlessly on that phase converter, and I also have an Akuma lathe up there. It's a little Cadet LNC 8, and you know, it runs fine. I can run everything simultaneously on that phase converter, and I feel like I could probably add more to it. So whenever I had all these machines powered on, I decided to do a little amp test on it. I went over to the breaker panel and put my amp meter on there because I was curious, and I know a lot of people are, you know, what is it at idle, and you know, what is it with the machines on. So I decided to clamp my amp meter on there. When that thing powers on, it draws about 3 amps. And the reason for that is it has a lot of start capacitors inside the panel that help it get started. And once it gets started, you're only drawing about 43 amps continuously just at idle on that converter. You know, once I have the Haas powered on, the Herco, and the Bridgeport spinning at 2 grand, I'm drawing about 56 amps total. And that's with the warm-up cycles going on both mills and spindle 2,000 RPM on the Bridgeport. The lathe I wasn't able to test right now because it's out of commission. Spindle drive's out on the lathe. That's another story. So now I'd just like to show you how my phase converter's wired, how my shop is wired. There's my pole out there. I've got a 400 amp meter. From that meter, I have 3 pairs of 3/0 copper running underground into the shop. And over here, I have a 400 amp safety switch, so I can cut the power to everything if I need to. Then I have this panel, and this is just my single phase breaker panel, you know, for all my lights and different outlets and stuff like that. And then up here I have a 175 amp breaker which feeds my phase converter, and I have conduit from this panel that runs along my ceiling. Over the office, over the air handler, and down into the phase converter panel. And then there is the 60 horse idler motor. And then this comes after the phase converter panel. There's the conduit. And I think I used 3/0 copper feeding this too, just because I had it. And I have a 3-phase breaker box, and that's where I feed all my machines. And as you can see, there's space for more machines, and hopefully we can use some of those spaces. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Be sure you like and subscribe, and leave some comments, good or bad. I like criticism, constructive criticism. So leave me a comment and let me know how I did. Thanks.